Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Welcome to the Shelly Wilson Show. I am an intuitive medium, a Reiki master, and a spiritual teacher. My mission is to assist others on their own journey into consciousness and encourage them to live an authentic life through awareness and empowerment. Coming from a place of respect, truth, integrity, and love, I honor your free will and recognize that you are co-creating your reality with the universe. My intention is to bring understanding, help you to heal from the past, and realize your full potential. I invite you to begin your life in a new way and tap into your inner power as you explore who you really are. Refrain from simply existing and elect to live your life fully without regret. It is time to let go of the past, live in the present, and look to the future, for it is this attitude that will transform you. Today's special guest is my beautiful friend, Christie Aphrodite, host of Soul Journeys Radio and creator of My True Essence organic healing oils and products. Christie went through many illnesses and countless injuries through her upbringing and faith in mainstream medicine. After decades of entrusting the professionals in the system, she found it getting her nowhere but sicker, ultimately leading her into a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down. In 1995, doctors told her she had 6 months to live. She took it upon herself to learn how to heal through better nutrition and clearly reap the benefits of it, completely healing herself and becoming a poster child of health and inspiration to many. Then on to help teach others how to heal themselves from all the so-called incurable disease they were suffering. She is not only walking now, which is something doctors told her would never happen. She has helped countless others on their healing path with her discoveries. She knows nothing is impossible and all that is curable and possible if the desire exists. She will share her experience, strength, and hope so that others can achieve the same outcome if it is also their desire. Christie states, "I'm just a girl who is blessed to talk with some of the greatest minds on the planet to bring a wide source of information that you can implement in your life in your journey to self-discovery and true healing. I have no labels, no special credentials. I am on my path just like you." Christie's websites are mytrueessence.net and souljourneysradio.com. And here is Christie. Hello, Christie.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here joining me on the show today.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for the opportunity. It's fun to be with you again.
Yes. Well, for the listeners, we met, it's been about a month ago now. Yes, exactly a month, at Dolores Cannon's Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference in Springdale, Arkansas. We had a wonderful weekend of spirit and just basking in this high vibrational energy, meeting lots of people, making those conscious connections. And then I joined you a couple weeks ago on your radio show, Soul Journeys.
You sure did. And you were freaking fantastic. I'm still thinking about it. And, we were just in this, I don't know, kind of portal, this time warp thing, that everything I was thinking you brought up, and I'm sure all your listeners might not know, but I was having some severe technical problems, so you couldn't hear me, but you were picking it up anyways, so it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great night, and I definitely enjoyed our time together, and I'm so glad that we are here today. It's Wednesday, August the 21st, and wow, it's just amazing.
Yay! You made it to the Hall of Fame for sure.
I did. Well, I can tell you right before the show went on air, I've been mowing. And you know how I'm just about 2.5 hours southwest of you here in Oklahoma. And, we've had a lot of rain lately, and it's been just like trying to keep up with everything. And so, yes, I tried to mow the yard Sunday, and a part broke on it, so I didn't get to mow. And so it got fixed last night, so I started mowing, and I kept watching the clock, and I came in at 1:30, and then my internet was down. And I'm like, okay, calm down, because the internet is also directly correlated sometimes with my energy. So it was like, okay, ground yourself, make sure that all's good, reset everything, and breathe. And I did, and here we are. So in life, I just want to mention that sometimes we have to pay attention to this energy that we're putting out, because we can draw that back to us, and we've got to pay attention, because sometimes, just like with our internet, we may not realize that can be affected, but it can.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. We can affect the internet. We can affect woodchucks in our garden. All sorts of fun stuff we think that we have no control over. Huh?
Yes. Well, I'm amazed that you just said woodchuck, because we did have a woodchuck, and I don't want to go in this because it's kind of sad, but he's lived here a long time, and I found him the other day, and he was no longer with us. And it broke my heart, only because I've seen him here forever, and then there he was, so had to have a proper burial and everything. But yes, I'm going to say that woodchuck was a power animal sign for this moment, Christy. So
definitely. Have you read the woodchuck totem?
I have not, so enlighten me, please, if you know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to, here, let me see, I can just pull it up here really quick. I'll tell you what, this gave me chills, but here, let me read it. Altered states of consciousness, a very difficult and powerful totem to have. Groundhog is the symbol of opening fully to the dream time, of exploring altered states of consciousness more deeply and fully. Dreams will have great significance. Lessons associated with death, dying, and revelations about its processes will begin to surface. Groundhog can teach its people metabolic control, how to go into the great unconscious without harm. People with a groundhog totem mean to have definite boundaries in their life and let those around them know their boundaries. Groundhog's power is strongest in winter, and 2 years is an important time period. 2 years of intensive studying might be required to achieve true trances or altered states of consciousness. This is often the totem of shamans and mystics.
Very interesting.
I still have
wow.
chills.
Yes.
That's really heavy for me the past few months.
Wow. Yes. So, Christy, I definitely would love for you to share more about you and your journey with the listeners, whatever you're guided to share.
Okay. Gosh. Which little aspect do we focus on today? I guess, well, in regards, let's stick with the woodchuck. And, I guess people usually have me on their show to talk about how I healed myself, because according to what we're taught in mainstream medicine, media, etc., is that we have all these uncontrollable issues outside of us, whether we call it disease or, control mechanisms or whatever, and that we have no known cause, therefore no known cures, and people just suffer for absolutely no reason. But, the good news is if you go to some dude in a white coat and take some drug, then they will be able to help you manage these horrible manifestations that have no cause or no root. That's basically what I believed most of my life, at least the first 35 years. And I think it really got to me. I mean, I knew something was wrong. I knew that there had to be more, but I really had no idea what it was or how to get there or where to even look. So I guess when I was really at that place where, the death and dying that the woodchuck totem talks about, the dreams and everything, I wasn't paying attention to them previously, like you. I think we were kind of brought up in a similar household or upbringing where these gifts and things were not nurtured, and I'd wake up and, try to share my dreams or have all these ideas, and then I'd get beat down again, sometimes maybe even, hog-tied, and hugged.
Yeah.
So, I guess it was at that process where I finally surrendered, and I'm like, okay, seriously, God, dude, whoever you are, whatever you are, if you're really out there and you're really as loving as, everybody, or as, we're supposed to think you are, then you will just kill me, please. You will not let me wake up in the morning. This is just torture, and as a loving God, Father, etc., you wouldn't want to do this to your children, right? So I completely, surrendered from the fight of the, I guess I could call them symptoms rather than disease. I mean, disease is just, it's a label of symptoms, but they all basically boil down to the exact same thing. Malfunctioning cells and suppressed immune system. It's just maybe the length of time or the length of self-abuse that gives you maybe a more drastic diagnosis. Cancer, AIDS, MS, whatever, etc. So when I fully kind of gave up and quit trying to fight my diseases is when the teachers started to appear. And, it happened because of my show, which incidentally was, public speaking was like the hardest thing in the world for me. I still am working on it. It didn't just magically poof go away. But, so I had to kind of force myself to go past my boundaries to allow those teachers to find me. And so I finally came across a woman who had left mainstream medicine when she found out that she was, she didn't feel good about when she found out what was really going on. And she was the first person that had ever told me in my life that I could heal. So I was like, wow, that's like the craziest thing I've ever heard. Don't you know? So, this, learned a little bit more about her and her experience in mainstream, and so I figured, I just kind of knew I had to try. I literally would have done almost anything at the time to just not gain and be able to raise my two children, feed them, rather than them feeding me. And so she gave me she planted the seed that I needed to help me unlearn everything that I thought I had learned or known due to my schooling and programming and nutrition. And kind of got me on a better path and gave me that hope. So here I am, 6 years later. I was in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down, with my children feeding and clothing me, with allegedly no hope other than just rotting away in bed undressed. So here I am today.
Yes, and we're so glad you're here. And the thing is, Christie, is I know that we both realize, although at the time I'm sure that nobody does, but afterwards, when you can really look back and see things from that higher perspective, you can see that you were intended to go through those experiences to make you the person that you are today.
Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. And that was another thing, though. I had to get over the poor me, why would God or whoever or doctors or, whoever you want to blame. I had to get over that so that I could see the beauty in that 35 years of illness.
Yeah, and see the blessings. And the thing is, even for myself, from my own experience, and we ask the questions, why me? Well, why not me? When it comes down to it, why not me? And when we realize that, once again, that changes things. And even as I was reading your introduction. And I want to read this part again where you state, I'm just a girl who is blessed to talk with some of the greatest minds on the planet to bring a wide source of information that you can implement in your life, in your journey to self-discovery and true healing. I have no labels, no special credentials. I am on my path just like you. And full-blown chills the first time I read it. Once again, full-blown chills. And Christie, I have to say, you know, you're very humble. And, you know, and there's no ego there, but I have to say you're not just a girl, okay? You're an amazing, beautiful spirit that is having this human experience as Christie for this incarnation, and you are definitely here to shine your light and to share the love with others who are on this path. And in doing so, you're simply just being yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I truly mean that. And you know, when I met you that weekend, I will never forget our first real, you know, type conversation was when we had lunch together, and there was a whole line of people, and you were graciously sharing the food that you prepared with everyone. And, you know, everyone was very happy and, you know, enjoying it, and it was delicious. And the thing is you were just doing it because you wanted to. And, you know, that's what a lot of people don't realize. People don't realize that people just want to love and be loved and do things for others without, you know, having that intention of ulterior motives. But I can tell you that there's some people, actually probably a lot of people, that interpret people's actions differently because they think that based on their own actions that they always have to do something because that's what someone wants.
Yeah, I really feel that. I tell you
and
what.
It's kind of sad. I just want to say that, too. It's kind of sad in looking at that.
It is, and you can kind of feel when there's, like, strings attached or whatever, but I'll tell you, nothing gives me greater joy than to share with other people, to provide, I don't know, it's just kind of in me. Maybe it's the Greek thing, especially when it comes to food. Like, my neighbors run for me, you know. Oh, there's Christie. She's going to give us, like, fresh salad stuff again. We better run inside. And, you know, that was kind of a thing that I used to just kind of like, wow, well, that's my only gift? Well, that's kind of lame. Why can't I be cool like Shelly or Noelle or, you know, everyone else? And, you know, so it was kind of a process to learn to embrace it because it was just one of those things that came natural, like my oil. And I remember with you with Jemai or somebody asked me, well, how did you do this? How did you come up with these recipes? And I don't know.
You just came up with them, yeah.
So it was part of my class, I guess, was learning to embrace all of those aspects of myself, whether it was the big fat eater that wants to make everyone fat and happy, or, you know, just the girl that can be there to help people process their emotions and, you know, just provide that smile or that shoulder or whatever it is that people may need at the time.
Right. And you know, and I think that's what is very important. You know, we continue to raise our vibrations, but we also recognize our fellow man and woman. We honor the light that is each one of us. We recognize that we're each having our own human life experience, and that it's important not to compare our journey to anyone else, but rather embrace one another's journey. And I know that there's a lot of people that get jealous of what people do or have or their journey or anything like that. And I just think that's very, you know, sad, once again, for lack of a better word, because why can't we all just be happy and be grateful and be grateful for one another?
Absolutely. It's hard to get there, I think, with our you know, with our programming, really, because we want to think, well, I'm a watermelon. All right, watermelons are delicious and wonderful, but I want to be a grape. You know, rather than, like, really honoring ourselves. I mean, yeah, they're both fruits. They both have high water content, just like humans.
I love the analogy, though, I just have to say. Keep going. Just keep going.
Vitamin A. They both have vitamin C. Wait, they're both excellent for you, and they both have their own unique properties that make them as beautiful as they are. So as long as us watermelons or whatever stop trying to be great, then we can fully embrace our beauty and, give that nutrition or whatever it is, share our gifts with other people more fully and freely.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And, I have to say, first of all, your laughter is very infectious. And, just your energy, Christie. And I just, want to say thank you again for this opportunity for us to connect here on my show. And I would love for you to tell the listeners more about these wonderful products that you create, because I know that they're just amazing and that they're available for purchase.
Yes, that is true. My website is mytrueessence.net, and all of this started just as a hobby. I had no idea that I would be a holistic health coach and making these products or skincare products or, helping people heal gangrene and cancer and MS and all of these things. It just kind of, I always had that desire. Getting back to my childhood, I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to be a doctor, and, that's initially why I went to school. But, again, something wasn't right. I thought, well, here I am, sick all these years, reading all your books, taking all your drugs, doing everything the experts are telling me, but I'm getting sicker and I need more drugs. So, I knew something was a little bit off. I had no idea that 30 years later it was going to turn into an actual opportunity to help people heal. I do just want to make something clear. Sometimes when I meet people, they'll say, oh, well, you can heal this, or can you heal me? And, the answer is no. I don't heal anyone. I, provide the tools to help them learn to heal themselves and, perhaps pamper themselves and be gentle and kind and good to themselves in the process. But ultimately, we're all doing the work ourselves. I feel really, really, really blessed to be a catalyst to help people or assist, hold their hand in the process. But, yeah, I don't, lay my hands on anyone or perform any magic or anything like that to actually heal people. So I'll tell you, I guess, the craziest story is my hiker's peak oil. And that was another one of those things that just it was whispered to me, just like banana cream pie or any other dish I wanted to make in my past. I used to cater and own restaurants, and, I just come up with these recipes, and people would be like, where'd you get this? I'm like, I don't know. So same thing with the oil.
You definitely have a cooking guide. I have no doubt about that. You have a guide that helps you create.
Yeah, creating, blending, flavors, aromas, things like that. The same thing with the oil. Really, all I wanted with the hiker's peak oil, and the reason I named it that, was because here I am in the Ozarks, and you live here, so you know how many bugs and
yes.
we get here. So I'm from California. And, I've mostly lived in the West, so we don't have big, fat flying helicopters like this.
How about tiny little seed ticks?
Yeah, all of them.
Those have gotten me the last few days, just being outside. Tiny little seed ticks.
We all. So I think I wanted to make something that I could wear and go outside and garden and go hike in the forest and, not come home like this big bleeding scar. So that's what I designed it for. This is kind of a bug repellent and to heal whatever types of bites and welts and things that we can get in the outdoors here, from poison ivy to any type of bug you can imagine. And I also wanted it to smell like the wood. So so you're a hunter and you don't want to get chased by bears or something, which personally I love bears. Chase me anytime. I've chased them myself, but most people don't like that. So I wanted the scent to be something that would fit in, because I know that's kind of the rules, I guess, of hunters, that you're not supposed to wear any scent or aroma, because allegedly they'll sniff you out and eat you. So hence the name hiker's oil. Well, what happened is I made it for that, and it worked. You know, it would heal my children's poison ivy in no time. It would heal any burns or rashes or scars or any types of bites, from bees to spiders to no-see-ums, tigers, you know, etc. And one day, I forgot to put it on, and I ended up with a tick bite in my left armpit.
Oh.
Tick, and I took it out, and so I put drops of hiker's oil right at the bite of my armpit. Well, you know, here we are in summer, and I don't know about you, but I sweat a lot. It's like, you know, sometimes you can get kind of rain after a couple days, right? Anyways, next morning, I woke up, and so my right armpit felt like a normal armpit would in the middle of summer without taking a shower the night before, and my left armpit smelled like heaven. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I started smelling. Come here.
So you discovered something new.
Yes, I'm like, oh my God, it works with deodorant too. So I had called all my friends that I had sent them to that were using it for various things, which, you know, they ended up educating me on what it was helping them with. Again, this was strictly made just for bug stuff, not, you know, skin consistent, rashes, things. It wasn't intended to do what it had turned out to be. But people would tell me, oh my gosh, I was breaking my ankle and I was in pain. And so I put it on there, or I put it on my ankle sprain, and all of a sudden it was better. Or one guy up in a factory in North Dakota, he said that he had his thumb, and he ended up putting oil on there, and it healed him, and incidentally almost the same thing with a factory guy in Ohio. I'm like, wow, this is kind of strange. Let's do. I never met Ricky. Ricky is that I ran into in Hollister, here in Missouri. You know, I would see him, and he couldn't really walk that well, but I didn't really know why. And then I just decided to ask him, and then he pulled up his front leg, and I was like, oh my gosh, so he's getting green on both his legs, and he was actually scheduled to have them both popped off at the VA. And I'm like, oh, let's think about this. I didn't want to, like, get them all excited and say, hi, I have this magical oil and I can heal you or anything. But I just thought with it that I had to try. Oh, I believe that I'm coming out really bad. Well, I wonder, looking at the chat, noticing that you can't hear me very well.
Yeah, it sounds like your phone's cutting in and out a little bit. How are you hearing it on your end?
I hear you perfect.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Because now it's clear again, and just periodically it was coming in and out, and so I posted in, okay, yes, I put it in the chat room to ask, and so I don't know what it is, but we're just going to keep going, okay. Sometimes, who knows, but I'm hearing what you're talking about, Christy. I'm feeling it. You're talking about the oil and how it has multiple uses. Yes.
Yeah, so I got a hit. I didn't want to get him all excited and say, hi, I make these magical oils, I can heal you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I did get a very strong hit from Spirit that I had to try. So I just said, hey, Ricky, I make these oils. It's, I've been able to help other people, and if you don't mind, I would love to be able to try. And, we have nothing to lose, right?
Right.
It's all natural. So I treated him 8 times, maybe 5 minutes each time. And this was, so literally like 5 minutes a week for about, well, maybe sometimes it was twice a week, so a period of about a month or maybe 6 weeks total. And his gangrene was completely healed and gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
And it was just something I created because I just wanted bugs to not bite me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We don't want bugs to bite us. And and going back to what I was saying, definitely, they can be an annoyance, but obviously there's a solution that is there to assist us either prior to getting the bites or after getting the bites. So that's great.
Yeah, so that was kind of a nice shock, and it really kind of helped me, just gain confidence in what I was doing, and it's like, wow, these really do have properties, and it was kind of like a catalyst here, at least in Branson area, for people to be introduced to God's medicine or Mother Nature as opposed to the other stuff, and not a very, obviously not a threatening way. People, because they got to see it with their own eyes, and this is actually something that previously people here in particular thought would be witchcraft or devil worship, and they actually used those words, and it's so funny to just kind of think about it and break it down, how we are taught to fear Mother Nature, whether it's the sun and solar flares and sunspots, or whether it's the water and acid rain and, chemtrails and chemicals, and, we're totally taught to fear Mother Nature, that it has gotten so far that, around, and I'm sure it's like this a little bit everywhere, but, it's definitely that way here, where they really thought that it was witchcraft or devil worship. They've used those words. In fact, my own landlord, she'll come over when she needs something, a type of healing, whether it's her ankle or shoulder or whatever, but when it works, like 15 minutes later she's walking and she's fine, then she has to consciously try to make herself limp again because she's afraid to tell her family how she healed.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy because the thing is, we both know that that's just fear, that when people can't understand it or they can't have a way to talk about it that makes sense to their humanness, that they tend to just go into fear mode. But the thing is, before there were doctors, before there were chemicals, before there were everything else, obviously people did it the natural way.
Yes, definitely. I think it's so funny how we're supposed to feel sorry for people that live off of herbs and are connected to Mother Nature, and they want us to believe, oh, well, that's third world. They don't have vaccines and the beauty of modern medicine. And I'm like, thank God.
It's the complete opposite, really.
Yeah.
Because people, once again, they think that, and I think a lot of it has to do with society, with marketing, with, everything else, that it's just what we've been conditioned, that this is the norm. And when you don't do anything that's in the norm, well, then obviously you're doing something either wrong or bad, or it's just not normal.
Yeah.
And we know that's not the case.
Well, that's okay. I don't mind not being normal.
Me neither. And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, and I don't need to push what I do or any of this on anyone. I understand that, look, I lived it, and I'm positive that this is at least a little piece of why I had to do what I had to do, being ill for 35 years, that we all can heal when we're ready, or when we make that decision. We will find a way, whether it's a wonderful woman who just you happen to meet because of your radio show, or it's somebody you run into at the grocery store, or you're walking by and you hear people talking about something and, it just kind of triggers you and you remember that, or some stranger hands you a book, or whatever it is, whatever method it is, like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I just try to, I don't try, I do. I just live my path, and, people, when they finally reach that point of frustration where they're like, okay, I don't want to be sick anymore, I'm tired of these drugs, let's try something natural. That crazy chick Christie did it, so maybe she couldn't help in some way, then, here I am. But, not about, bashing other people for what they're choosing to do. Heck, I did it. I took every drug doctor gave me.
Yeah, well, the thing is once again, you had to have those experiences to make you the person that you are, to have that understanding. But now looking at the other side of things, then you're realizing, that there is an alternative, that there is a different way.
Yes. And we don't have to suffer. We really don't. And I think, again, that's part of our programming. We're taught that, to be Christ-like or Christ-conscious or whatever your religion is, whoever are the significant figures of your...
Exactly. And the thing is, too, looks like Christie just dropped it. I know she'll be calling back in. But what Christie was saying was definitely that, it doesn't matter what your belief system is or who you choose to honor. The thing is each one of us, once again, are having that human life experience. And I love Christie's analogy of the grape and the watermelon. And, that really puts things in perspective, because the more that we can see that and understand that, then it will make sense. And welcome back, Christie.
Well, thank you. Yay, here we go. I don't know, maybe our energy, too much electricity going on.
Absolutely, lots of energy going.
Yay.
I wanted to read, I found this while you were talking about the way we meet people, making those conscious connections, because that's totally what I'm all about, is making those conscious connections and knowing that people come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime. Well, psychic medium Bill Phillips posted this as his status yesterday on Facebook, and what he said is, you meet no one by mistake. There is always a larger spiritual reason behind each encounter that will reveal itself in time. It's usually about healing and love.
Yes.
So I really, yes, this goes back to recognizing, the teacher will appear when the student's ready. And what I see now is that each one of us are having that experience, and we are here to learn and to grow and to have these opportunities for learning and growth. And the more that we recognize that these individuals coming into our life, this interaction, that's what Experiences is about.
I totally agree with that. We are all students and teachers of one another, and, it really took me a lot of years to understand what that meant, because, again, in our programming, and we want to take sides, and I'm right and you're wrong, or he's right and he's wrong, or, let's pick this side. And so the things that, might not feel so good at the moment, we're taught to judge, we're taught that it's less than, that there's no way they could be teaching us anything, or maybe they could even be filling a role, maybe even the adversary or something, which, I can look back now and see that each of these situations that seemed like the toughest or the most difficult, or even people stepping in these roles to even play the meanie or whatever once in a while, which I'm sure has to be a really tough job, but I see that I needed all of that. They were my teachers, and maybe these were initiations or, portals to deeper understanding about the mechanism we call life. No, I had to do a lot of self-assessing, and just really push my boundaries to be able to accept and love all of it. That doesn't mean that, I'm going to invite it all into my house for dinner, right? There is definitely something called boundaries, but I can definitely love it all from afar and see how it works, this perfect machine, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it.
Well, I think you've described it very well, and what you were talking about, even our mutual friend Sherry Cortland, she talks about these windows of opportunity, the life scripts, and also the relationship villains, and that's what some of those meanies are. They're what we perceive to be mean, but they're really here to help us learn these lessons that we need to learn.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what. Sherry was like one of the first people that was able to bring that to me in a way that I could understand it. So she definitely taught me the relationship villain issue. Because before I read it, I think that was in her first book, Windows of Opportunity. Yes. And I'm like, God, she's crazy. What do you mean I'm supposed to like bad guys? I mean, doesn't she know hasn't she ever met a jerk in her life? All of that. And so I had her on the show, I think, 3 times just to talk about, I've had her on the show more than that, but I think...
but just to talk about that topic,
Yeah, I just thought it was useful. It really just helped broaden my perspective, and that really, set me on a course of changing everything and, having love and appreciation for these experiences rather than blame and fear and guilt and shame and hatred and, whatever else we humans feel.
Right. And the thing is when we do shift our perception of the experiences and the individuals, then we change the energy of them. We don't change the experience itself, but we do change the energy and our perception of it.
Yeah, totally agree with that. So that's really been able to help me, I guess, with my healing internally. Definitely, because, we always hear you can't help others if you can't help yourself. And again, that didn't make sense to me because here I was on this crusade, I'm going to save all the little girls being sex trafficked, or I'm going to save, so-and-so, or the underdog, or this and that. But I didn't realize that much of it, if not all, was part of me, remaining in denial and covering up those aspects of myself and not wanting to heal it within myself. So I feel like I felt like I was doing good, ignoring myself and trying to help other people, but I was really no good until I started to address those issues in myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, that's part of where the healing happens, when we can really look within ourselves, when we can really honor who we are, honor the experiences that we've had, grow from them. Because what I say numerous times, there's only 5 things that we can actually control in life. We can control our thoughts, our words, our actions, our emotions, and our reactions. But there is nothing else that we can control, just those 5 things.
Absolutely. Totally. And that's a ride. Let me tell you, it's the toughest ride ever. Really looking in the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, I am the most screwed up of them all. Like, nobody wants to say that because it's easier to blame everyone else. And I'll tell you, on the physical path, I was doing what I needed to do physically to heal, but I couldn't get all the way there until I addressed those issues, those denial mechanisms, those fears within myself.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes it's heavy, really heavy go
Yes.
into that, and the thing is if we don't go there, well, then that part will never be healed. It will never be addressed. So we have to acknowledge what we fear the most. We have to acknowledge what we don't like. And the more that we're honest with ourselves, the more that we really feel what we're feeling, then that's when we really become authentic.
Yes. Yes. And isn't that the key, though? Becoming authentic and feeling safe to be our true selves without saying, oh, my gosh, I'm a watermelon. I want to be a grape, damn it. Grapes are so cool. I would the analogy, but really, that's what it is, because we're all beautiful and unique. Look at Mother Nature. I mean, that's the key right there. Do you see, wolves judging bears, or daisies judging sunflowers, or, violas judging violets?
Right, right. Not according to my awareness, but yes, it's just amazing too. And the thing is, this life that we're living is a beautiful thing if we perceive it that way, but people can also get consumed with the challenges that they're facing, or get consumed with the financial aspects, or any other part of their life that they find challenging.
Definitely. I find that the surrender has been the key for me. You brought up financial, and I know that's something that probably most everyone struggles with, at least at one point in their life. Some of us, maybe coming from that fear programming or that judging money. Oh, money is the root of all evil. And, so, I remember making pacts after seeing what was going on with my family and, in relation to money. I'm like, screw this. I don't ever want to have money. I don't want to ever be like this or those people. So I blamed money. So what did I do? I kept it away from me. And then, of course, that spiritual programming. Oh, well, if you're a healer or if you have a gift, you're not supposed to charge money. Look, Jesus didn't charge money. Buddha didn't charge money, or, whatever.
Right.
Listen. And that's so old paradigm, and that keeps us stuck. So I had to really start to and I'm still working on it. I am so not a pro, and I am so not there. Just let this be clear. But, healing the money aspect and realizing it's not the money, it's just an energy exchange, and allowing that in my life, or even being free to start promoting or being comfortable with promoting myself or what I do, because, I locked myself up in that cave. Well, I don't want money. Only the bad people are going to do that. Look at all the evil things they do with it. And so, lots of healing and lots of self-assessment, for sure.
Well, and the thing is, I think that's good, because first of all, we can talk about it and acknowledge it. And when we do that, then that's once again when we can heal it and change our perception of it. Yeah,
that's definitely key. Definitely. And I know sometimes when we talk about these things, people, I'll sometimes trigger them when, I say things that, for example, all disease or all death is a suicide. What do you mean? I didn't ask for this, and I know, maybe not consciously. However, you did consciously, unconsciously. It's just that we don't remember that. So, that whole taking responsibility for ourselves and where we're at. I remember getting so mad when I had difficult issues going on in my life, stalkers, things like that. Like, I was so stuck in the blame game and blaming them and, these jerks, and don't you know, how dare you say that I'm responsible for this, or there's something in me that needs this or brought this about, and but I hate to say it, it's true. It is totally true. So I think that once we really, start to, we all want to separate ourselves and look outside of ourselves, whether it's for God or our spirituality or for knowing truth, whatever it is. And the truth is, it's all within us. Every single answer is within us. We are our own masters, our own gurus, our own teachers, our own little wizards. Our hands are our wands. We're actually creating these things whether we are aware of it or not.
Right.
So it's been really empowering for me, although it was a very difficult pill to swallow. It took me probably a good 3-4 years to see that. And even still, you know, I can get kind of caught up occasionally. You know, I'm definitely more conscious of it. But it's easy to fall back into those patterns or blaming someone else or, you know, that jerk stole my mail. Okay, well, what is it in me that is leaving, you know, an aspect of myself open to that?
Right.
Something. I might not know the answer now, but I know that the process of looking or searching or self-assessing is the key. And things just start to kind of magically unfold when I start looking at it from a perspective of responsibility.
Very good point. And the thing is you're taking that power rather than playing the victim role or trying to put it off on someone else or blame someone else. Then you're taking responsibility, and that allows you that opportunity to see things from that higher perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Well, Christie, we are just about out of time. This hour has gone by very fast. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the listeners? I definitely would love you to talk more about your radio show and mention your websites again.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess what I would really like people to know the most is that the power is within you. Okay, yes, people like Shelly or myself or Tobias or any of the beautiful people you have on your show, Sherry, we talked about her. Yes, they are all pieces of the puzzle. They can hold our hands. They can help us get to where we need to be. But really all they're doing is reminding us of what we are inside. So I would say my journey has been more of a process of unlearning rather than learning. I mean, yeah, I love books, I love information, I really, you know, I need that in my life, but what it's a process of unlearning and surrender and giving up what we think we know, those program barriers that keep us wherever we are. So just, I don't know, maybe take that into consideration and just try to remember how great you are, how we all are. As far as my show, it's Soul Journeys Radio. I'm on American Freedom Radio. I think this is my 6th year. And our show is much like yours, metaphysical topics, spirituality, self-responsibility, a lot of natural healing, whether it's herbs, essential oils, weed eating. And by the way, there is more than one weed for people who don't know. I'm talking dandelions and plantains and red clovers and milk thistle and nettles and all of that, because I do believe that it is all God's medicine. In fact, I believe that every single thing that's planted in my yard is here for a reason. So again, we just need to remember that so we can learn to utilize it instead of looking at, you know, getting back to the adversary thing, people who grow gardens. They're like, oh man, I have to get out and pick those damn weeds, you know, they're creating all this work for me, and why are they growing in my beautiful garden? Well, chances are, whatever they are, you probably need them for something. And so I've just learned to, the ones that I do know, I definitely don't know them all, but the ones that I do, I harvest them just like my vegetables or anything else, and that's what I use to make my medicines or teas, tinctures, oils, skincare products, etc. So we talk about things like that on the show. So mostly natural healing, foraging, gardening, things like that to get people a step closer to our innate nature. I do believe that we are, in fact, Mother Nature. We are all aspects of her. So I'm just blessed to be a catalyst to kind of help people find their way and remember that.
Yes, beautiful. And you're not just a girl. I have to say that again. And definitely thankful for this opportunity to chat more today, Christie. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you again. As I said, we're not that far away from each other. And it was just a pleasure to meet you for the first time just a month ago.
You too. You are
it was
such
a month. Yes.
Yeah, I'm precious little warrior. You are so beautiful. And yeah, definitely. It was amazing.
Well, we're reflections of one another. And when we see that, what we see in one another, we see in the other person, we see in ourselves as well, or we should see in ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And again, we're all students and teachers of one another.
Are.
Help people remember that, right?
We are, absolutely. We are all on this journey into consciousness together. We are all having this human life experience, so we just need to enjoy it. Take it each day, moment by moment, one day at a time. Let go of the past and look to the future and really allow ourselves that opportunity to enjoy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Well, Christie, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you, Shelly. It's been so fun. And one day I'm going to just end up on your doorstep and pick you up and take you down to some crystal mines in Arkansas.
There we go. Yes. We can do that, Christie. We can hang. Yes. Wonderful. Well, listeners, let me just take a moment and tell you a little bit about what we have coming up. On Monday, my guest is going to be Sunny Dawn Johnston. On Wednesday, Paul Lipton, he's the author of Hour of the Wolf. On Wednesday, September the 4th, Patty Greer will be talking about crop circles, and I know she was just a guest on Christie's show. Monday, September 9th, I've got Flora Peterson. The 11th, Catherine Andrews. September 16th is Robinette Meyer, and September 18th is Garnett Schulzhauser. Then September 29th, Charmian Redwood, and Jamie the Psychic will be my guest on September the 30th. So I have lots of upcoming guests over the next few weeks. Would also like to mention, if you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, I'll be working a spirit fair this weekend. It's spiritfair.com. I invite you to learn more. Also teaching lots of Reiki classes. So if you're in the Oklahoma area, I invite you to visit my website to learn more about the Reiki classes that I offer. Looking forward to visiting Fayetteville, Arkansas, September 19th. I'll be teaching my workshop, Creating the Life You Desire, at the Center for Spiritual Living there. And I invite you to visit my website, ShellyRWilson.com. That's ShellyRWilson.com. I offer private sessions, and I have all of the shows archived. Once again, I invite you to visit Christie's websites, mytrueessence.net and souljourneysradio.com. And listeners, this concludes today's segment of the Shelly Wilson Show. Until next time, remember, this is your time. I encourage you to live an authentic life, be the best you can be, and love yourself in the process. Much love and many blessings to each of you.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.